This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio, where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. We welcome your comments, your questions, and if you just want to call and just give us a piece of your mind, feel free to do so. You can give us a call at 347-857-3958. Again, that number is 347-857-3958. Now, if you are in front of your computer and you'd like to see what Irvin and I are actually doing in the studio, you're always welcome to log on to www.cruzandhughes.com. And you can see what we do here in the studio, which isn't very much, but at least you'll get a chance to look at two mugs like ours. And we always invite you to put your information in, and Irvin and I from time to time will share some tools, tips, and strategies with you. So feel free to put your information in at cruzandhughes.com. Irvin.
Yes, sir.
How was your week so far?
Wow. Are we in the middle of the week yet?
What are we up to? Tuesday?
We're up to Tuesday. I was hoping that this morning somebody would tell me it was Friday. Really?
It's been like that.
It's been like that.
Well, you know, they say you get more done before
Tuesday. Before Tuesday than most people do all week.
What they do all week. That's right. So how's business?
No, business is great. You know what? We got an event coming up. You know, our regular twice a month seminar is coming up.
Okay.
And that's going to be coming up this coming Friday. And
let me guess, you're having it at the Kingdom Builder
I'm
Center.
having it at the Kingdom Builder Center this coming Friday, the 26th. It's going to be at 10 a.m., and we're going to run that till 12 noon. And we're going to be talking about, folks, how you can get in on some of the opportunities that government agencies have to buy products from you. So government contracting. And so we're going to be talking about that, giving people information about how to go about doing that. And if you want to get more information about that, you can give us a call at 800-381-0073, or you can certainly email me right here at the show at Irvin, and that's ERVIN at cruzandhughes.com.
Now, this is about becoming a government contractor.
Correct.
Is there a cost to attend?
No cost to attend. We do this absolutely free, folks. And the reason why we do this free is because a lot of people are unaware, John, of what the government buys and why they want to buy from small businesses. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we come on this seminar, and we do this twice a month. We do that over at the Kingdom Builder Center. So if you want to just join us over there, you can go to 6011 West Orem. You can go at 10 a.m. on Friday morning and join us over there. But we do this seminar for free because we want to educate the general public about what those money-making opportunities are for selling to the government. And then, more importantly, we tell you in that seminar what the government buys. We tell you how to approach these government agencies. We tell you how you're going to need to set your company up to do that. We talk about capital and credit, my favorite subject. And we literally give you all the tips, tools, and resources that you need to make an educated decision about whether or not this is a good fit for your business.
And if you find that this is something that could benefit your business, this is an area that you definitely want to grow your business in.
No doubt.
Then what happens after that?
Well, if you decide that you absolutely want to grow your business, we actually offer an optional, it's optional, a training program. It's a 12-hour certificate training course where we literally go about providing you with the training, the formal training. You literally graduate with a certificate. Yes, there's a test. And
what happens if I don't pass the test?
Well, don't worry. You can come back to class.
What?
Yeah. You don't have to pay again.
So if I don't pass the test,
yeah,
I don't get the certificate.
No, you got to pass.
Is there any math?
Yes.
Oh,
lots of math.
Can you use a calculator?
Of course. You can use the calculator just like you would if you were at your own company.
You know, and on a serious note, most of the folks that I've spoken to, I don't want to say most. I'm going to go so far as to say all of
Wow,
the folks.
that's huge coming from you, John Cruz.
That is huge because I don't like using all and never.
Exactly
but all
right.
of the folks that I have talked to that
Sure.
have had the pleasure of attending your class,
Sure.
the very first thing that they say is how informative the class is.
Right.
And doing business with the government, in my opinion, takes intel.
No doubt.
It takes information.
Absolutely.
And it takes someone who operates behind the lines, if you will.
That's correct.
That can come back and say, listen, this is what these people are looking for.
Right.
Because one of your courses here in the city locally, our transit system
Sure.
is called Metro.
That's right.
And you actually took one of your groups of students up to Metro.
33 companies.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, we actually took 33 companies, and these were guys, interesting, John, these were guys who had just graduated through our training program, which was really interesting because all of these guys' businesses were less than 30 days old.
Okay.
And so what we did is we took them into Metro, which, by the way, folks, you can't just walk into your transit authority off the street and meet the people that you need to meet.
Yeah.
But we
These are the people that are responsible for purchasing things.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that's correct. And so what we did is we literally walked those folks in, made introductions inside Metro for those folks, and then started the process of getting them not only registered as vendors, but then certified, started the certification paperwork with them while at Metro.
You know, and I'm going to applaud you again because I believe that offering that free course and giving them the down and dirty on doing business with the government.
Right.
Because one of the things that you always say is you don't ever paint this picture as though it's a rosy cake.
No,
in
no.
doing business with the government.
No.
It requires work,
Right.
tenacity,
Right.
effort.
Right.
You have to network your way into
That's
the right
exactly
people.
right.
And you talk about all the ways that you can be successful doing that. Now, hearing verbiage like that does not scare away a real entrepreneur.
Oh, no, not at all. In fact, that's what it's funny you bring that up, John, because that's actually one of the reasons why we do bring it up is because, quite honestly, we don't want to mislead people
Right.
into thinking that this is some sort of a free money giveaway type of a opportunity because
Right.
that's 100 miles from what it is.
Right.
It's going to require work. It's going to require commitment as well it should because the income that can be derived from this can be substantial.
Certainly.
And so we don't want people who are coming in and they're hoping to get some sort of free for all type of, I don't know, a free money giveaway type of thing. That's just not what this is. This opportunity requires work and commitment.
Now, you know who Helen Collier is.
Absolutely.
And I love Helen.
I do too.
Oh, man, she is tenacious.
Yeah, that's
But
exactly right.
One of the things that she said, I was speaking on a panel about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she got up and she spoke earlier that morning, and she mentioned that she was absolutely determined to get business from the government space.
Sure.
And one of the things that she did, she said that she was everywhere they were.
That's right.
And she said it took a little time. They had to trust her. They had to see her. They
Right.
had to know that she really,
Right.
really wanted it.
Right.
And it's just hard for me to believe that if you're that type of entrepreneur, that you yourself could. Because if you listen to Helen, and Helen is, I mean, she runs a fabulous business.
She does.
And she does a lot of things with the government sector.
That's right.
And she said that if you are that person,
Right.
you're going to be successful.
No doubt about it. And I've had a good pleasure of working with Helen on several different occasions, on several different fronts, always in the government space, of
Right.
course. And one of the things that I believe makes her and people like her stand out, John, is Helen is absolutely focused. Helen knows her numbers for her business.
Okay.
Now,
This is the part where you guys should have a pen out and be
Yeah.
taking notes
Yeah.
in case you didn't know that. These are things that you should know about your business
That's
that
right.
would help you along in winning a government contract.
That's exactly
I'm sorry
right.
to cut you off.
No,
there,
that's
but-
okay. No, that's very good. I mean, she knows her numbers. She knows what her liquidity ratios are. And by the way, yes, government agencies do take an evaluation of what your financial capacity is.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ratios they pay attention to is what your liquidity ratios are. Helen knows that stuff off the top of her head.
Right.
And people like her tend to do very, very well in the government space because when it comes down to the award process,
Mm-hmm.
these are things that are going to come into play. Next thing is references. Helen keeps great references.
Right.
Her work history is absolutely stellar.
Yes, it is.
And let me just tell you, I almost hate to rat out Helen like this, but let me tell you, one of the best things that can happen for you and your business is documenting how you handled problems when they came up. And if there's one thing that I think separates Helen away from a lot of other entrepreneurs and small business people is the methodical way that she goes about handling issues, because she's in the management business. And so there are just problems that come up. It's just inherent. It's part of the deal.
We were going to talk about something a little different today, but I sort of like the role and the momentum that we've picked up here. So what I'd like us to do is maybe carry this into the next segment, because I want you to give a few more points that are relative to winning those government contracts.
Absolutely.
And one of the questions I want to make certain that you circle back to is, what is the amount of time that I should realistically expect between the time that I take the course and finish that I should expect to see some results?
Excellent. I'll tell you what we expect.
Guys, you're listening to Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio. If you'd like to give us a phone call, you're more than welcome to do so at 347-857-3958. This segment is brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. It is the magazine that is for and about Houston's entrepreneurs. To get your free copy, all you have to do is log on to smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com, put your information in on the right side of the screen, and we'll send one free to you each and every month right to your email inbox. More in a moment with John Cruz and Irv Hughes. Stay with us.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Irvin and I spent the first segment talking about his upcoming class. It's coming up. Is it this Friday or next Friday?
This Friday, the 26th.
This Friday, the 26th, is going to be the Kingdom Builders Center. And if you have ever wondered about what it takes to be able to sell to the government, to be a government supply contractor, this is a class that you definitely don't want to miss. The price is high, though. It's absolutely free.
It's absolutely free.
And so all you have to do is spend a couple of hours. Is it from 10 a.m. to 12 noon like it usually is?
Yeah, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And
so you get in and out.
Get in and out.
Go and have lunch.
Still go have lunch. Get back to work.
Got half the day left to go.
That's
and get something
exactly
done.
right.
So it's a great opportunity for you to learn more inside of what it takes to be a government supply contractor. There is no cost. Bring something to write with.
Sure, you're going to need that.
Prepare to be given some great information. But we went to break, Irv. We were talking a little bit about realistic expectation, and I know that you love to set the right expectation.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's take a guy like myself. I've never done business with the government.
Sure.
Although I may have a nice concern, a great business that I'm already running, but I'd love to sort of delve over into the government space.
No doubt.
Take your class.
Right.
I get some assistance from you in terms if I need a financial help. If and when I get a contract, you're willing to do that for me. What realistically should be the time frame that I should expect to win a contract?
Well,
is that a fair question?
That is a fair question. But let me tell you what the empirical data says, because I think that's more accurate.
Okay.
When we set up this program, John, we had projected that it would take most people from graduation to winning that very first contract about 6 months.
Okay.
That's not what we're seeing at all. We're seeing people, in qualifying my statement here, we're seeing people who are actively bidding, winning their first contract inside of 90 days.
Really?
Yes.
And this is with no prior experience doing business with the government?
No prior experience. The people who are having the most trouble, for whatever reason, are people who do have prior experience. Because, remember, our training, John, is intensive and it's detailed in that we're actually giving our folks tools that other people don't have.
Right.
And so with that and teaching them to use those tools, the people who don't have to unlearn the bad habits that they picked up.
Right. Which is important.
They tend to take off quicker because they can embrace the new concepts faster than somebody who has to unlearn how they've always done it and implement the new training that we give them.
Which I can understand, because even in my business years ago when I employed tons of salespeople, sometimes I'd find it a little disheartening to have someone with experience, because they bring all the experience of what hasn't worked every place
Exactly.
else.
That's exactly
and
right.
They're so focused on that I can't teach them what does work.
That's exactly right. And it's a tough thing for me as an instructor and as a mentor to see someone struggle with what is very simple, or more importantly, take a shortcut and make it into a long cut. Because they want to add things into it that aren't there, or more importantly, or worse yet, people who make things up, make up problems.
Well, I have to ask this, because I'm going to keep beating you up about this.
It's coming.
Because we have people who watch this show over the nation, and we have some people who would love to do business with Texas government. That don't necessarily reside or domiciled inside the state.
That's right.
And they can.
Absolutely.
So now, do you have this class online so that they can partake in this great information, so that they can learn?
The platform is in beta right now. It is.
You know what? Your answer gets closer and closer to yes every single time.
Every single time it's getting closer to yes, man. And you know what? And I appreciate you asking the question. Y'all don't know, man, but John has been on me for months about putting this training class online and making it available to all of our listeners all over the country, in fact, around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you are thinking about, even remotely thinking about starting your own business, but selling to the government, or if you are in an existing business and you want to add selling to the government as a way or a method to increase your sales and profitability, you certainly want to reach out and connect with us so that we can get you on the list. Now, with that being said, John, the online platform is in beta. We've acquired the platform to do it. We're making bandwidth measurements now, and what I mean by that is how many people can we simultaneously have before we get quality issues with video and audio and that sort of thing.
Right. Well, and I think that's a good thing because I don't see any reason why, if you can do business with the city of Oklahoma, why could you, or city of Oklahoma City, I should say, why could you not essentially do business with the city of Galveston?
That's right.
Or the city of Houston.
City of Anchorage.
Right.
Honolulu.
Once you traverse, those areas and the ways that it takes for you to be able to win that contract, why not expand that?
Well, that's exactly right, and that's actually part of what we cover in our training course. When we, following the seminar, for those people who do want to take advantage of the opportunity and they want to get trained, they want to get access to the capital and credit they need, what we actually do as part of the training is teach them the step-by-step process about going through a nationwide expansion of their business.
Well, I hope that you all tie into it. For those of you who are outside of the city of Houston, stay patient. The platform is in beta. It is coming.
It's coming soon.
And you are going to be surprised, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised at the information that Irvin gives. I have to admit that he is a great teacher, and if you watch him on this show, I'm certain that you share my sentiment. Irvin, if they want to get in touch with you about taking the course?
Yeah, if you want to get in touch with us, certainly you can email me here at the show at irvin@cruzandhughes.com, and that's ERVIN, or you can give us a call right at our office at 800-381-0073.
And if you missed any part of that, you can always go to www.cruzandhughes.com and just find this show and play it back, and you'll hear Irvin say all that stuff again.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about momentum.
Yes, let's talk about momentum.
Our producer extraordinaire, Stephen K., said that we should talk about momentum today.
Now, are we talking about momentum or momentum breakers? Which one is it? Are we talking about momentum makers or momentum breakers?
Well, I tell you what, let's start with the makers.
Okay.
And then we can ease on into the breakers.
Okay.
But before we get into the makers or the breakers, why don't you tell me in your own words what momentum means to you as it relates to small business?
Sure. Folks, momentum is your consistent effort to meet your business objectives. And the key word there is consistent. Momentum is built through consistency. When you have an interruption in your business operations, when you have an interruption in your marketing effort, when you have an interruption in your operations, you can wreck momentum. And I'm going to tell you what, you better have some sort of way back home. You have to know your business well enough that even if you do suffer a loss due to a lack of momentum or some interruption you've had, you have to be able to come back right where you left off. Because if you can't, and your customers or your constituents, the people that you serve, the people that pay you, detect a loss in performance, and I'm talking about the level of performance, your intensity, that's not good.
Yeah.
You got to have a way to do that.
And I think the key word that you just espoused is consistency.
That's right.
And being able to stay moving, stay the course.
Keep moving.
Keep going.
That's right.
When I go back and I think about it, and we've talked about this on the show, the Great Depression.
Sure.
Talk about a momentum breaker.
That's right.
For an economy that was doing very, very well.
That's right.
And of course, it was built on a substantial amount of credit. And people were taking that credit and they were investing that into the stock market and realizing huge gains. And at some point, the music had to stop. There was a limited number of chairs.
That's right.
And many of those who were left standing ended up falling off of the Dow Jones.
That's
Some of them fell off of Main Street business.
Yeah, they fell off the boards.
They fell off the boards.
That's right.
Now, you have some people, some businesses that continue to do well.
Right.
Even though the overall economy wasn't doing so well. And those individuals did some things that saved their businesses, but they kept that momentum going. And I believe that one of the number one things, I don't want to say I believe, it's no fact, it is a fact.
Sure.
That the first thing that many of these businesses did is they continued to advertise.
No doubt about it.
And that was tenet number one for them to survive the market. And you look at all of the successful businesses that made it through the Great Depression. All of the men who ran those companies said the same thing. Well, all of my competitors stopped advertising.
That's exactly right. And let me just say this. You talk about keeping momentum, John, advertising, marketing, all of those things that you do when your business is doing well, you must keep going.
Yeah.
You must keep going. And let me just say this, too. A lot of people advertise because they think they want to make the phone ring. And that's not why you advertise, folks. You advertise because you want to keep your business on the public's top of mind. That's what advertising is about. Is your business on the top of the listeners or the viewers' mind?
Yeah.
When they think of a plumber and you're in the plumbing business, do they think of you? Yes or no?
Right.
If you sell furniture and you're in the furniture business, when somebody needs a couch or a dining room table, do they think of you? If not, guess what? You need to be advertising.
Let me ask you a question. When I say the word soda, what's the first thing that comes
Coke?
to mind? And I don't even drink Coke, but it's the first thing that comes to my mind, and it's because of great advertising.
That's exactly right. In fact, Coke is synonymous with soda.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
because I'll say, give me a Coke, but I really want a strawberry
That's
soda.
Exactly right. And folks, when we come back, we're going to talk to you about some secrets that I've learned from some very wealthy people that's going to help you keep your momentum. More in a moment. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by SalesNexus.com. Remember, SalesNexus offers the best in web-based customer relationship management systems. You can sign up today for a free trial copy of SalesNexus by visiting SalesNexus.com or give them a call at 888-267-3589. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee News. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff.
Come buy my
stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show, Irvin. And if you're watching this on cruzandhughes.com, you just see me laughing my head off. If you've noticed, Irvin has this small, compact, nifty little new computer that is making no sound. And normally the old PC that he normally brings to the show kicks out so much heat, we have to have a fan over here in the corner just to keep us cool. But you got to tell that story one day on how you ended up switching
I am going to do it. I'm absolutely going to do it.
And so we won't tell it today because it's going to force you guys to watch us another day in case you're thinking otherwise. Yeah. But today we're talking about momentum.
Right.
And what momentum means to business. And Irv, you gave a great description of what momentum meant in the last segment. And the word that I pulled out of everything that you so eloquently said was consistency, being consistent in the, and I want to add something to it, being consistent in the fundamentals that make you successful.
That's good.
That helps build positive momentum.
Absolutely.
Now, we also talked about a little bit about the Great Depression, the differences between companies that survived the Great Depression. And, you know, and I think the Depression then, although I didn't live through it, I would have to say, thank you. I'd have to say that it had to be worse in the 30s.
Oh, no doubt.
Than it was in terms of what we experienced here after 2008.
Well, no doubt, but I think it was because of momentum. I think it was not as bad because of the years of economic momentum that we had built up in this country.
Okay.
So that when we did hit it, you know, momentum is a resistance for something moving to stop.
Right.
It's hard to stop something that's got a lot of momentum behind it, right?
Right.
And so even though our economy faltered, still in our worst economic events ever since the Great Depression, this country still was able to sustain foreign military operations at the tune of $1 billion a month for 10 years.
Right.
I mean, you stop and think about that, and that's huge.
Well, you know, too, if I had to think of another reason why we probably fared better than our country did in the 30s is that we had many more markets that were available that didn't exist back then.
That's another thing is world markets, and now we have accessibility today through the tools that we have that allows us to be more competitive on the world markets than we did back then.
Right, absolutely. So there were more options for us.
A lot more options.
And that did help to sort of carry that burden, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Now, going into the last break, you said that you wanted to share some secrets.
That's right.
That you've learned from wealthy individuals. And one of the things that I am definitely a proponent of is following what the wealthy people do.
Absolutely.
Learning what they do, internalizing and studying the wealthy, because they do things that build wealth.
That's right.
Whereby people who aren't wealthy do things that, you know, destroy wealth, like buying consumables.
That's exactly
that sort
right.
of thing. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into
Well,
that.
in keeping with our theme today about talking about momentum makers and momentum breakers, one of the things, John, that I wanted to share with our listening audience today is years ago I had the good fortune of building my business up to a level where I was around a lot of very, very wealthy people. And back then, too, there was a bit of an economic hiccup, a downturn, if you will. And a lot of wealthy people suffered losses, but it was interesting to be up close to people who had achieved these high levels of success in how they approached a downturn in the economy. And understanding that these downturns, these economic downturns, can destroy momentum, business momentum. And let me tell you what the secret is. In talking with one of these particular folks, I was struck by their excitement about what they were going to do next. And now understand that the economic downturn, the momentum breaker, if you will, operated to slow their business down. And they saw it now as a new challenge to overcome this economic downturn. And the first thing they did, we talked about in the last segment how so many people stop advertising. So many people will stop marketing. They'll start to cut back. These guys literally took, and these people didn't know each other, by the way, but these guys took their remaining monies, and one guy threw one of the biggest parties at his house ever.
And he's bleeding cash.
He's bleeding cash. He is in financial trouble. He put a plan out. He said, I am not going to participate in this economic downturn. Here is where we're going to take our company today. I'm inviting you folks to join me in this effort. I'm having a party at my house. We're doing great. Did you hear that?
When they really weren't.
When they really weren't. We're doing great. Here is how great we're doing. Okay. You guys don't want to participate in this thing, do you? You want to join me. This guy raised $2 million in cash in the weeks following this party. Because he took what he had, and instead of him going, I don't know what I'm going to do. The sky is falling. He announced his expansion plans in the face of this economic downturn.
So all the wealthy people naturally were at the party.
Of course.
They were impressed by.
And he invited only the wealthiest people he could find.
That's a good idea. And
let me tell you what, they started to ask him, what was interesting is they started to ask him, well, how do I get involved in this new expansion you have going? He said, well, I don't know. I can't tell you about it right now, but let me know if you're interested. Right. I'll make sure and put you on the list.
Well, I mean, that's definitely one way to look at it. I mean, it really is about perception. How do you perceive what's going on? And I'll tell you this, wealthy people, they get excited about economic downturns.
That's the point.
And if you look at where we were in this country, I don't have my notes that I normally keep, but if you add all the panics and the depressions that we've experienced since we first became a country, it turns out that every 4.9 to 5 years, we experience some form of downturn.
That's right.
And what I notice about my wealthy clients is when we're doing very well in this country, they're vacationing.
That's right.
They're looking for opportunity, but not as hard as they are when the country starts to go down a little depression or we take a dip, because that's truly where money's made. And one of the things that they avoid is what I call the knee jerk.
They don't do that.
We succumb to that. We hear that the market's doing bad, people are being laid off. The first thing we do is our sphincters tighten up. Because we're wondering, am I next? Am I the next one to be downsized?
Sphincter. Sorry.
So the thing is, I think our perception should be is that when you hear certain words like depression, downturn, downsize, attrition, that your mouth should sort of water a little bit.
That's right.
Because there's opportunity around you at that point.
That's right.
Because so many people are going to respond to the knee-jerk reaction.
That's exactly right. And let me tell you what, folks, hint, hint, your competitors are probably going to panic, which means you shouldn't.
So. Right.
It means that you should take advantage of that. And you folks who listen to the show, you know that I love competitors because we all as business people must have competitors because we have to have somebody to bury. That's why you have to have competitors. That's why those of you who email me or call me on this show and you want to tell me you have no competitors, I think you've invalidated your business model.
Right.
Because you need to have competitors and you need to ask the Almighty for some competitors if you think you don't have any.
Well, chances are if you have no competitors, you don't have very much of a market.
That's my point.
So that's quite scary to think about. I mean, if no one else has saw the value in participating in this market, I'm not too excited about financing you in that market.
That's exactly right. And I'm in finance, and that's one of the things that I look for.
Yeah.
Is, as a finance person, John, when somebody comes along and says, hey, Irv, I need some money, and oh, by the way, I have a business model that's so powerful, I don't have any competitors. All right. See, that's ridiculous.
And that's probably because no one else wants to eat waffles and get a haircut in the same place.
That's exactly right. They don't want to eat at Pablo's Hospital Body Fender Repair and Ice Cream Parlor.
Now, let's talk about some other. We talked about momentum makers.
Right.
Now, I'm going to say the number one momentum maker for myself is that consistency that you spoke of, checking your fundamentals, making sure that you're consistently doing the basics that make you successful. Those are momentum makers for me.
Right.
Now, when you think about other breakers, one of the things that we talked about was stopping your advertising, stopping your marketing.
Right.
What else comes to mind?
Spending time on what does not make money.
Now, that's a good one.
Burning up time. Folks, let me tell you what. You want to have a train wreck in momentum, start burning up time on everything that doesn't work.
Yeah, like, as the old folks would say, cutting bait during the day and trying to fish at night.
That's exactly
That's not how it works.
That is not how it works.
It's an opposite. You cut bait at night.
That's right.
And you fish during the day.
Yeah. Straightening out your closet. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll burn up
How
time.
does that make money for you?
That's exactly right.
So using your business today to do those things that are pegged to revenue.
That's exactly right. Burning up your business hours because you're scared. So you can't do that, folks. When you're in business, you have business hours that need to be spent on revenue generation. It needs to be spent on customer service. It needs to be spent on working on your business and nothing else. And so whatever that else is that you've come up with is not going to work. You're going to get into trouble.
You either do that after hours or you hire someone to do those mundane things for you.
Absolutely. You cannot afford to burn up your productive time because you're having a problem or economic downturn or whatever. Those are momentum breakers.
If you're in small business and you don't know that you are probably suffering from that, here's something that you should do. Write down what you do every minute of the day. So for 1 hour to the next, let's talk about those things that you did during that hour, and then you review that after about a week, and that'll let you know if you're always focused on revenue.
It absolutely will. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by RingCentral.com. To get RingCentral's virtual PBX for your business, you can give them a call today at 888-716-5022. Stay with us, folks. The education will continue right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee News. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Irvin and I are talking about momentum today. Momentum makers, momentum breakers. We've given you some ideas of some things that you can focus on to keep your momentum, to build momentum, and that is stay consistent in all that you do. But you want to stay consistent in the things that are fundamentally sound, if you will, things that fundamentally lead you to more revenue, not consistent in those things that have nothing to do with revenue, like straightening out your desk.
That's right.
You know, cleaning out your file cabinets. Yes, that's important, and it should be done, but it shouldn't be done during the business day when is the time to be focused on profit.
Right. You know, I had a good friend of mine this past week, actually last week. He gave me a call, and it was really funny. He says, Irv, where are you? And I said, well, I'm at my office. And he says, what are you doing there? He says, man, it's 9 o'clock at night. You know, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm straightening out some things. I'm, getting organized. And he said, you never stop, do you? I said, what are you talking about? It's too much money to get. I mean, and you want it all. Yeah, I want all that I can carry. In fact, I'm looking for help now. If you want to make money, you can join me.
And all they have to do is send you an email.
Just send me an email, man. I'm looking for help right now. Look, I'm looking for people who want to push the wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about the Great Depression also. And if your business is going through because the Great Depression happens all the time.
Yeah, it wasn't just 1929.
No. It was 1979,
That's
1999,
That's exactly
2009.
Right. That's right.
Last month.
So
if you're
on the 19th.
On the 19th. If your business is going through the Great Depression, there's some things that you should be focused on. The thing that you want to look at is you want to pay attention to those other businesses that went through lean times, and you look at what they did. And therein lies a model for how you could structure yourself so that you could be lean and nimble enough that you can get yourself to a level of profitability and then continue to build momentum. And there are three things that I noticed from Depression-era companies that were able to survive, which I believe were the worst economic times. You got people who say it, that these were the worst economic times. I just think that these numbers were bigger than the losses then. But it's all relative. But nonetheless, they continue to advertise.
Right.
So do not stop your advertising and your marketing. You cannot fire salespeople unless they're salespeople that are not selling.
That's right.
Okay. So you keep your advertising, you keep your marketing. Any employees that you do not essentially need for your business model to work. I have to say, Irv, many of the small businesses that I know that are suffering because they're doing the very best that they can to carry a workforce that was needed when business was just flowing very well.
Right.
You got to let those people go. Non-essential employees, you're doing yourself a huge favor. And as a matter of fact, you're doing the other employees that you intend on keeping a huge favor by letting those non-essential employees go. And then lastly, loans or access to capital. Only get what you absolutely need.
Right.
If you do not need it, don't get it because loans can eat you silently from within.
That's right, and they will.
So give me your thoughts. I know that when I mentioned employees, you wanted to say something, as well as loans.
Yeah, well, I wanted to just say not to do that to people. If you know that your business is in a place where you need to make adjustments personnel-wise, you know what, folks? Let your folks know, those non-essential employees that you were talking about, those people. Most people in a professional environment, whether it's a small business or a large business, if you're running a professional organization, those people aren't stupid, right? They know what's happening. And let those people know what the plan is up to and including if they need to step back. Let those people know and let them know as soon as you possibly can. I know for those of us who are small business owners, oftentimes we don't want to do that because it sounds like bad news.
And you know what I hear? The rationale behind that is, well, when the business comes back, I don't want to have to rehire and retrain.
No.
when the business comes back, just be focused on rehiring and retraining.
Well, exactly right. And quite honestly, this is an opportunity for you to treat people fairly.
Right.
And I think that's what's so critical, is that you do need to treat people fairly, especially when there is a downturn like that. And then secondly, talking about loans. Folks, loans create debt, period. I know what you may think there, in that, well, hey, if I'm illiquid, I need to borrow some money to build my liquidity. Let me just tell you, build your liquidity through sales, and that's why you have to keep your star sales people. I'm always appalled at how small business people will literally diminish the value of their sales force when they're in tough times. You can't do that, folks. This is when you uplift your stars. This is when you get your stars excited about what the new opportunity this challenge has brought to your company.
Right.
And you know what? It's your salespeople that you better treat right, okay? Because at the end of the day, those are the folks who have a direct impact on your revenue and income.
You know, and when you think about, and this is something that's a little off topic, do you have a most important department when you think about the way a company is structured or their business model? I mean, you got IT, HR,
Sure.
operations,
Sure.
sales, and marketing. Is there one that's more important than the other?
I don't think so. I think you got to have all of them.
Okay.
I really do. I know that flies in the face of modern logic, but let me tell you what I mean. If you don't have the proper departments in place to support the sales effort, you know, the sales team is the team that's leading the charge.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else really in that organization is to support the customers that come in through the sales effort.
Yeah.
That means in the HR to support the internal people that you are able to keep, those essential employees. Guess what? You got to keep your HR department, because if you don't, you're going to have unhappy employees and they're going to leave.
Yeah.
Especially the good ones.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to keep your HR. So what I'm getting at is I don't want to say that there's one more important than the other. I think as an owner, it's important for us to make sure that we're keeping the whole team and those functions in that org chart together. And that's what I mean. But again, John, a lot of times small business owners are in a place where they don't even know what their org chart really looks like.
Wow.
And guess what? If you don't know what your org chart looks like, you don't know what those critical functions are, then you don't know how to match the people's skill sets and talents to the org chart. You can have some real trouble there.
Now, what suggestion would you give to someone who has not taken the time to really figure out what their organizational structure is?
Yeah.
Give me an idea of how critical that is to their ability to be successful in business.
Well, you can have a lot of people unhappy because you can have people in the wrong places in your organization. Not that they can't do the job, but are they happy there? Are they straining to do that job? Or is it pleasant? Are they looking forward to doing that job because they do it well? And
your org chart will help you.
Absolutely. Your org chart will help you identify what those critical functions are and then match the skill sets with those functions so that you understand what those employees' goals are, what those skill sets are, and then whether or not that org chart, that position that they're playing, that you're asking them to play, whether or not that supports their goals. Because ultimately, you better know what your employees' goals are. Because if you set them up in a situation where, yeah, they might be able to do it, but are they going to be happy there? That's the question.
Sounds like one of those fundamentals that you have to stay on top of.
It's absolutely one of those fundamentals. And, hey, maybe when we come back, we can just touch on some wrap-ups, some takeaways from this show. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. Listen, when you need credit help, get a free consultation today by giving Lexington Law Firm a call at 888-744-7081. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is?
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. No one called in today, but it was okay. We were not at a loss for words. This is our short segment, so there's no sense in me giving out the telephone number today.
Yep.
But we've been talking about momentum.
Right.
And the one thing that I think that it takes to build momentum, you mentioned something that is the number one momentum breaker, and it's fear.
That's right.
Because fear generally causes you not to
perform
or act.
That's right.
And so the number one momentum maker then would be action.
That's right.
So the thing is that you have to come up with a plan, and you have to put that plan into immediate action. Now, your plan is never going to be perfect.
That's right.
You got to make adjustments.
Right.
But to not act is the biggest momentum breaker that we can find on the list of breakers.
That is exactly right. And let me just tell you, folks, you cannot allow yourself to get into intellectualizing why you can't start. All conditions aren't right to start. Well, guess what? They ain't never going to be right, folks. That's bad English.
Hey,
they ain't never going to be right. Just start.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Nike said it best.
Nike said it best. Just do it. Don't allow yourself the opportunity to get locked in park.
And in that, understand that you are going to have to make adjustments. There's no plan that's perfect. I haven't seen a perfect plan yet.
No, and I'm going to tell you what, even if I ran across one that I thought was close, I'm going to investigate.
Yeah. I still probably wouldn't trust that.
Yeah, something's wrong there.
Well, we've enjoyed talking to you today. Our topic has been momentum makers and momentum breakers. Irv and I are going to take a hiatus, and we'll see you tomorrow. Guys, you've been listening to Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio. I'm John Cruz.
I'm Irv Hughes.
And this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. So until tomorrow, we ask that you do 3 things for us. Be smart, be successful, and above all else,
be in action.
And Irv and I will see you tomorrow.
Take care.